Go.
Yo, what's up, everybody?
I hope that you are ready. This is Lou Ramirez, the car guy.
Frelinard's subprime hero.
And we are brewing solutions on the Car Guy Coffee Podcast.
Oh, man.
Go ahead and get your brew ready, take a sip, and let's get ready to enjoy the ride. We got a very, very, very special guest that's in the cafe with us today. And we're so pumped up. We actually got a couple guests. We're going to get a little word from our sponsor here shortly. But before we do, go ahead and tag, share,
all that good stuff.
Call
folks.
a car guy, call a car gal. Go
Please
ahead and put your name in there, and let's get ready to brew some solutions. Get ready for this. Forgive, focus, and flying. Once again, remember all of the incredible people that have been to the cafe brewing solutions.
You know it.
Here's a little glimpse of
Matter
all the cool characters.
Our guest is on this video, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, he's on here too.
Yes, he is.
Both of our guests.
Focus.
Fly. Keep growing.
Car guys, hopefully you've been sharing it all around.
Please do.
Make sure that you get a couple of solutionaries to jump in here with you and with us. I'm pumped up. I mean, I'm
super
ready.
pumped up this morning.
Got to get the stretches on,
Folks,
abs ready to laugh.
Our show is a lot of fun. The first thing we want to do is obviously bring up our sponsors. Speaking of sponsors, first one we have
Elite FI
Partners. Man, they are a great group of people. Michael Offmuth and his company up there are doing some amazing stuff. So make sure you go to www.elitefipartners.com. Check them out. They got a lot of cool videos. They got some testimonials. They have everything that you need to get going, to get you excited about their business. And then, of course, the man, the myth, the legend. We do have somebody here from the Think Ad Group, www.thinkadgroup.com. Man, you got to think before you add group.
That's right.
All right.
I'd like to welcome Justin Searle from the Think Ad Group.
Here he
Thank you
is.
so much for joining us this morning as we get ready to announce our next guest. Welcome, Justin. Hey.
What's up, Justin?
Hey, guys. I was just out in the daytime this morning, take my little walk around the neighborhood, and I was just thinking about the ads that we're going to brew solutions to you with. Actually, I have a confession to make.
What's that?
What's that?
Well, since Justin, who is myself, his beard is itching me like crazy, I'm not Justin. Okay.
Oh, what?
What?
What is
What do you
this?
mean? Oh my God!
You sure that's not Justin? You look
Holy
just like
beard!
him. Oh my God,
it's
folks!
Michael Larkin.
We have Michael Larkin in the house. Oh,
yeah! Surprise!
Right?
Speaking of Michael Larkin,
you know, there's only so much a guy can take. Thank God. Thank God that Halloween is in the fall because I could have never sweat through this. Oh, look at you guys.
Yeah, we're trying to
Excuse
get like
me.
you. Trying to get
Ow!
like you. We're ready to do this together.
Let's do this together,
You
folks.
ready? 1, 2, 3.
Oh,
Oh, boom, boom.
as Fred says, doing it sexy.
Oh.
It is. Hey, that video you did with the for the elite F5 partners, man. It was the flip was good, but it's the smirk afterwards that gets everybody, dude. I don't think there's a person who watched that video that didn't go, "Oh, dude, that's a good one." That was really good. No, I'm glad to have you here this morning. You know, we've had you on the show before, but we've never had you exclusive as the guy on the show. You know, we appreciate you for being here. We're excited to have you here. You're a great person. You definitely always, every time I talk to you, every time I watch a video of yours, I always leave with a bigger smile than I've started with. And it's there's something uncanny about that, how you can do that to people. And you've been doing that since day one. I've always said that. I said, man, if he wasn't doing what he does, he should be a stand-up comedian. He's got that personality where people would just be drawn into you. Like, okay, this guy, he's got something. So we're excited to have you here, man. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, world.
Good morning, everybody. Good
All
morning,
you Solutionaries out
Jason.
there.
Good morning, Paul. Thank you for
up,
joining the cafe. We are excited about the solutions that we're brewing. Speaking of solutions, you can go ahead and get you some of the brew that we have out there. If you go to carguycoffee.com, we are sipping on some of the best. Again, folks, this is not base model coffee. If you got a car guy, you got a car gal you want to give a good gift to, give them a good cup of Car Guy coffee.
Yes.
It will seriously upshift and uplift their day. Send them a little message right on the bag. Do something, get people pumped up. We are going to release some discounts on some of the holiday specials that we have going on. So pay attention to some of that. But again, we got some great things going on. Speaking of next level stuff, we also have Jason from Next Sale that you can get information for. Just tell them that you heard about us talking about Next Sale, and I promise you he's going to hook you up like you wouldn't believe. And this is also not just going for the dealers, for you salespeople out there that want a serious solution but don't want to wait for your dealer to make a decision. You can make a decision today to find out how to get your next sale by actually going and just messaging us or messaging Jason directly about your next sale.
It's important because once you get done with this one, you got to get ready for the next one.
That's right.
So and that's
the next one.
Yeah,
we got the next guest on the show today, Michael Larkin. Yes. Right, he is coming in by way of Justin Surro, which is actually how we got connected together, right, through the think tank.
Absolutely. The think tank. I love the think tank.
Me too, brother. Me too. What?
Yeah, back in March was the first. Back before St. Patrick's Day, I believe, or was around that time. It
was right around there. Yeah.
Right. That everything shut down, of course. This is a weird time, right? I mean, we're all worldwide going through the same thing, and
no doubt.
it's weird, but before COVID, I was trucking right along, and then when COVID hit, well, I had to pivot, and I knew it. I had to pivot because I'm in the digital marketing world, and what's the first thing that gets cut because of the bead counters? They always cut marketing because the big companies and medium companies look at it as an expense, but they're cutting their nose off to spite their face because what's bringing in their money is the sales guys. But their phone isn't ringing anymore because you cut the marketing. So, it was a vicious cycle for a number of months. And being around like-minded people, that made all the difference. That saved my business.
No doubt about it. You saved your business too. As much as everybody getting together and doing what we did really helped, but it starts inside you. Do we need outside sometimes energy to get us focused a little bit more, to keep us courageous and to keep us motivated? Yes, it helps. Accountability is really beautiful. To have people who support you in everything you do is really amazing. But really, you can have all that, and we've seen it, and still not get things done, and still not grow, still not pivot, still not do those things. So it's kudos to you, Michael, for doing those things. you're a great person, and having you on the show to me is I'm excited to have you here for one, but I always felt like you were part of the show anyway. Like to me, as like Car Guy Coffee, Think Tank, all this stuff, Mike Larkin is an entity of that. And so we're so glad to have you here. I'm so glad to be able to share your story with other people. And I'm really excited to get to know you even just a little bit more than I already do. You've been one of those guys that even, no matter how busy you are, you reach out to us. No matter how much you got going on, you reach out to us. If we put a post out, you're always making a comment. I love that, and I appreciate that, like more than you know. Mike, you're probably, and I don't want to use the word fan because we're friends, right? But you're one of the biggest fans we have. You're out there. Every time we do something, you're always making sure you comment. If we're doing a live stream and you're around, I know you're there. I see you. I mean, I appreciate that, and I mean that. And I mean that so much. It means so much to me as a guy who is trying to pivot and grow and do these things during this time. To have somebody that does what you do and acts the way you do means a lot. It shows that we're reaching out to the right people and that we know that people are being affected by it. Same ways how you're doing. By you doing what you do, and you do this because you do it not just for us, you do it for everybody that you love. And I see that. Mm-hmm. And you're doing it at such a great and high level with so much good enthusiasm that it's just so contagious that I think other people are feeding off that too. So I think you're affecting people more than you know, even though you probably do know you are, but it's deeper than you think. So thank you so much. Appreciate you for being here this morning, Michael. I'm excited to do this 5-liner with you, Michael. Let's gonna do and have some fun. Man, Absolutely. You know all about it. But before we do, and I know you've already done this before, but before we do anything, we always do our 3 F's, right?
Absolutely.
All right. So I'm gonna have Brew break that down for us.
Well, you know the deal, Michael. There's a lot that gets in our way. There's a lot that gets on our shoulders. There's a lot of weight that we take on and we carry that we're not supposed to. Just like the weight of big decisions, just like the weight of fear, just like the weight of anything else in our life, we have to wipe that off our shoulders and we have to forgive. And you've been a great example of being that kind of a solutionary once again while you're flying with us. But then you have to focus, right? You have to focus on who you want to help. You have Absolutely. To focus on what it is that you want to get done. You have to focus on what you got to get done today to move your business forward. And if your business is like your business, you help other businesses get where they're trying to go, right? You help to lay a track for them. You have to stay laser focused on helping the people that you're dedicated to helping. And then once you're focused on where it is you want to go, you set sail and boom, you fly. You fly to higher levels than you ever dreamed. And once the people that you're trying to fly with go there with you and you're flying next to them, then boom, we're all growing. We're all going to different heights. So let's get excited to forgive, focus, and fly together. Car guys and car gals, if you're in the car, do it one-handed. But if you're with us right now on 3, 1, 2, 3, forgive,
focus, fly, and keep growing.
Keep growing. Yeah, get it. All right, here we go. So excited.
Yes, sir. That was good.
But seriously, this solutionary right here is somebody that is finding a way to be successful in a tumultuous time because he's so focused on helping other people get the data, get the marketing tools that are needed to get there. His heart is there. He's a pro at it, just consider him like a master mechanic in his field, right? And this is a bridge that car guys are starting to have to learn how to do. There was a lot of money that was spent in marketing that car guys just wrote the check. They didn't even know.
Wasted. It was wasted. Didn't know where it was going.
Out of it.
Right.
But now they're having to actually learn the tools or be convinced that some of the tools that they just keep bleeding money for don't actually produce for them. You know what I mean? And so I'm just so thankful that we have somebody like you that's helping to connect the dots of all of the things that dealers are needing to kind of get a grip on. And sometimes it takes you a little while to sit there and just chew on it. You know, some of these big data decisions are not easy, decisions to make moves on. You got to sit there and give it the focus. And so many times the dealers want a couple of questions answered and then they're ready to roll on, right? Sometimes there's some real value you need to look at and see. And I'm just so thankful that you're here to do that.
Yes.
And man, welcome to the cafe again. And I feel like we're talking to you all the time. And we've never seen most of these people. It's incredible. But again, just a testament to what digital marketing, what media can do for the connection of people. I mean, it's incredible.
It's
I'm
the
ready to get this
future.
ride lined up.
It's actually not the future. It's the current. So
it's the now.
But yes, so Michael, we got 5 questions for you this morning. And these 5 questions, they're a lot of fun. I want to get to know you a little bit more. The very first question I'm going to ask you is your why, your purpose. You know, we all wake up every day. We all need something to energize us. We need something in our head to make us say, you know what, I'm going to keep rocking. What is that for you?
Yeah, that's the most important question, the number one question. And I get that from one of my influencers on LinkedIn and across the internet, Simon Sinek.
Yep.
Yeah. And the first time I saw his first TED Talk back in 2009, it's "What's Your Why?" Yep. I was blown away. I was like, "What?" And since then, I've always used this symbol. It's an Irish symbol, but it was my late father's favorite symbol, and it's having to do with relationships. So it's called the claddagh ring, and if you wear the claddagh ring with your heart facing outwards, it means your heart is open. It means you're single. When you're wearing it the other way with the crown facing out, it means your heart is taken. Mm-hmm. So that's the meaning of it. But I had to kind of pivot back then on my why, and this is the perfect symbol for a business to know their why. So we are we love what we're able to do for our clients. We're loyal to our staff and clients, yep. And we strive to build or establish lifelong friendships every single day that fit right into what we're able to do. And we're building the tools like a mechanic, and everything has to run seamlessly for it to work. But we've learned along the way that tool doesn't go with that part, and it's not going to run correctly. We've had our lessons on that as well, to get it to a point where now, 22 years into this, we've got a fine-tuned machine that we're learning. My staff hasn't learned this yet, but when to say no. It's not about the money all the time. It's, hey, we have a system and a process that's proven to work, and you want to go a different direction. I don't know, because of your ego or because you want to prove something. That's fine, but we're not the right company for you. We're going to do it, and then we're going to do it in a way that's going to be successful, in a strategic way that's proven to be successful, rather than you dictating to us how we should use our tools to help you.
I love it. Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, that's not a match. Here's my number. Contact me when you go to somebody else that's going to burn you.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
But that's our why. Is we love what we're able to do. We are loyal, and we seek friendships every single day. I'm not everybody's cup of tea or brew. Hey, that's just life.
We understand.
You know,
yes.
Hey, Justin, everybody doesn't like you or me being you.
Right. True. Hey, everyone's boat floats differently, right?
Right. Different strokes for different folks.
There you go. Right. So, and that's okay. And that's what's beautiful about what we do, is that it's, no matter what you do in your career, whatever it is, you're not going to make everyone happy. When you put out a post, not everyone's going to think it's a positive post. They're going to think, well, you shouldn't have done it this way. There's always hate for something that you do. And that's okay, folks. There's 2 things you could do with the hate out there. 1, you can take it in and take heed of it and go, you know what, I'll make some adjustments. Or 2, you could just use it as motivation to be like, I want more people to think, you know what, I'm going to make them more aggravated. You know what I mean? So it's a fun world to be in, and it's a fun time to be in with all this stuff. And it's, you know, to have somebody like you out there doing what you do and having the attitude that you have, it makes it a lot more fun to understand these types of things. So yeah, that why is a great why. I see what you're doing. I love what your company's doing. I love and your company is you know what I mean? And that's what I like about it. That's that whole entity of that style of life. When I think of you and your company, I think of that as one thing. You know, it's like a brand, one brand, right? And you do a really good job with that. You found your why. And much like when you talk about that, the reason why I start with the why is because of Simon Sinek. That's the very reason why it is my first question, because I do believe it all starts with the why. And when you get a why out, you know the rest of it falls into place. Because if you have that purpose, you have that reason, and what you do, and you have, I'm sure you even have more reasons in your life, but that was just your for business, and what your father left that legacy, and then you're moving it on, you're carrying it on through your company, using the logo, using that as a way to show that, hey, look, we're here for relationships, we're here for love, we're here to be open to you, right? And I love that about you, and I know that. I could tell we've known that about you since the day we met you. So kudos to you. So excited to have you.
I'm
here.
consistent, man. I'm consistent, baby.
You know you are.
Man, love that word. That's again, folks, the key that you're going to keep hearing out of many people in the social media world is going to be that word consistency. Applying a consistent method to the way that you approach your digital presence and your product presentation. In that, of course, we want to make sure that we do highlight so many things that are key about the consistency that there is with somebody that's going to succeed, that has to pivot. I was telling the guys yesterday as we were going through our great news meeting and just being thankful and saying, guys, next year, there's going to be challenges. And guess what? The year after that, there's going to be challenges. And every single year you go through, there's going to be a marking challenge maybe for that year, some bigger than others, right? COVID is a pretty big one. Right. This is a paradigm shifting occasion. But the thing is that so many of the solutions for this shift were available for dealers and pre-COVID. These are not new inventions. These are not brand new ideas. These are just now people realizing that, hey, we actually are going to need that tool. We're actually going to need that boat. We're actually going to need that thing that gets us to the next side in our address to how to reach a customer. COVID just pushed some things in gear. It made some people just wash their hands.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It's as simple as that inside of what it made it do. But it was always a good idea to have sanitizer and wash your hands. While we ran out of toilet paper, I don't know. You know what I mean? In some spots, but
still, it's like that right now. I mean, these shelves are getting in with toilet paper again. I don't get it, but
as
it's doing it.
As a solution as toilet paper is, it was always there. It was always right there and available for people. They just didn't know that they needed it so bad, which is what's happening right now, I believe, inside of the actual the market, where people are starting to say, wow, some of these tools we actually might need to listen to. Why? Well, because our margin is shrinking. Our customer is buying differently. So if our customer is buying differently, even if just say 25% of your customer clientele get woke, right? And realize that they can buy in a different way and they don't have to go through your process. Take 25% of your clientele that shifted their way that they buy, and it sprinkled that across the many other dealers that are adjusting to it, right? Just consider that. I mean, I love breaking it down to the mathematics, because the math is never going to lie. The info is never going to lead you astray. If you look exactly at the seeds that go in, is only going to bear so much fruit. And sometimes there's supernatural fruit that comes out of just a small handful of seeds. But no matter what, if you're not sowing seeds, you're not growing anything. And the thing that grew most businesses, the thing that's grown us, right? The major expense that we have is marketing us, showing us without paying for ads. There's other ways to do it, but you're spending the money to market yourself. You're spending the time, the equipment, all of that stuff to get yourself out there. Otherwise, nobody knows who you are. Right. And then when all of a sudden everybody's trying to figure out how to buy, you say, you know what? Let me stop telling you to buy from me. What sense does that make? You know what I mean? And I never understood that shift, because you have to put money into the slot machine in order to get money out. So, you never know when it's really going to hit, but you ain't going to get nothing out if you don't keep putting it in. Right?
Exactly.
I mean, that's just my 2 cents.
Let's lose 2 cents.
There's a couple words.
I'll be honest with you. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but in the past month, I've never seen so many Carvana commercials as this month.
Come on.
They're constantly on. And I'm like, where are the other, car companies doing TV ads?
Like they've come off. They've come completely off. They've cut that out of their budget because calculating that ROI has become so hard that they've just taken it out of the budget. And this is what Carvana, if anybody has seen the most recent, I'm so glad that you said that. The most recent Carvana commercial, I was telling Tiffany this. I said, that's exactly what most car guys said is why they won't be able to make it. Why? Because they can't appraise the trade. But they just did a whole entire commercial off of how they'll show up with a check in hand for your car and drive it away from your house. Man, doesn't that sound good to somebody hanging out at home, going through COVID, needing some money, waiting on a stimulus check? I got a free and clear car sitting right there. I can turn that into cash right now.
No doubt about it.
Are you kidding me? They've done it. So now they're doing it, and they're advertising exactly where car dealers
and trust
left
and
the
believe
vacuum.
their
They
next
left the
level
vacuum
is
for them to do it.
And the other thing people complain about, they don't really have a good subprime department, you know. And
What?
guess what?
We know the guys.
We know
that
it's going to
develop that part of it, the trade-in.
Matter of fact, we've
You know
had them
what I
on
mean?
our
They
show.
were on the show.
They are no longer with Carvana. They are
No.
now doing their own thing. They're starting some new stuff. But you know, Nicholas and Chris, you know, they're great people. They came on our show. They helped develop a lot of stuff. They actually had their own way of doing things. I love those guys, but they left Carvana because they wanted to start doing stuff with subprime, which is crazy, right? And they reached out to me, you know, the name Subprime Hero. So they reached out to me and Lou, and they were like, "Hey, you know," so they basically learned a lot of stuff from us, and then they still reach out, which I love about it. They still reach out to me and ask me ideas. If he has something new, he says, "What do you think about it?" I love that I get to have an opinion on things like that that whole Silicon Valley feel, because that's what they are. These guys are like Stanford graduates, really smart, like
people that know stuff.
And they're doing some really cool stuff. And the thing is, as smart as they are, we're geniuses in our career fields. You're a genius in your career field. So when they reach out to us, they know that we have that information that they're looking for, that information that they don't have, right? And I love to be able to do that. We like to do that. And that's what the whole digital world is. We've been able to do that, and we've been able to market ourselves. And Michael is a genius at all that type of stuff. So folks, all you guys out there who are looking for that type of help, make sure you reach out to Michael. Make sure you reach out to him ASAP, because he's going to do everything he can to help you think.
That's right. That's right. Well, what do you? I mean, on that, because this is a. And I don't want to get so caught up inside of the five-liner that I don't enjoy the genius that we have with us,
right?
Because these are key things that are going on, right? Mm-hmm. There's a lot of stuff dealers don't know that it's wrapped inside of your head, right? And guess what? There's only so much of it they need to know. Right?
Yeah,
they need to have somebody like you to trust.
The wise man once told me, "A confused mind never buys."
Yes, that's 100% sure. That's 100% sure. Mm-hmm. And the thing I believe, and I have that theory too, is that you got to keep it simple. And if you don't, it overcomplicates. It's like using big words and you assume that somebody knows what you're talking about. Yeah. They don't. So when you use those words, they may agree with you, but at the end they're gonna be like, "I don't want to buy it."
What was that?
Yeah, I don't even know what I'm buying. I don't know what a flux capacitor is. What's going on here? So
don't never go back to 2020.
That's it, right? I don't think anybody will. They won't go to the future of it or go to the past, no matter what part of the world they're in. It's a unique year this year. 2020 has been a year that I have been able to find a lot of gratitude in. I've also had a lot of things that were crazy. But I look at how amazing my network has become over this year. How it's almost was forced onto you, and it's not a bad thing. A lot of people may not like that. A lot of people are like, "Oh, I just try to stay off social media." Well, guess what? We all had opportunity to learn what real social media was. We all got to understand how to use it. These Zoom meetings, these StreamYard meetings, all these meetings, Google meetings, whatever you were using, you became better at, you became more proficient at. So in the future, you're going to be able to make it better, which in turn also made all these companies better too. Like companies like Zoom, they couldn't host so many people. They upgraded their systems. They made it to where people could have bigger meetings, have more consistent meetings. So there were so many solutions that evolved from this. Now we're able to reach across the whole world, talk to so many people with the click of a button, and it's common to you now. It's not foreign anymore. I think the biggest thing that all of us get into is that we don't want to do things that seem foreign, right? You're like, "Oh man, that's just weird." But now that you've done it, and all of us pretty much have done it. If you're in the business world and you haven't done a Zoom meeting, I don't know what you're doing. But the Zoom meetings have became huge, and they're so much fun. I've been part of a lot of ones where I just came in and watched and listened to people talk. Right. I've also been able to be lucky enough to be a guest speaker on them. We've also hosted our own. When we first started doing our podcast, it was on Zoom. we didn't know about, we currently use StreamYard. Shout out to StreamYard. They do a heck of a job. I love it. And they've constantly upgrading their stuff too.
You mean Duckhead, right?
Duckhead, yes,
Duckhead.
that's what he keeps calling. I love it. When I first, it would mess me up the first time I started using it. I was like, what was the name of that website again? Because I keep seeing the duck in my head too.
Duck.
We all know back in the 80s and 90s, Duckhead was a clothing line, folks.
I know.
I used to wear the crap out of that Duckhead stuff, man. You had the little Duckhead shorts, the khaki shorts with the Duckhead logo. That was like wearing a polo shirt back in the 90s. It was so cool to have that Duckhead right there. So it was right around the same time as IOU and all those clothing lines. But yeah, man, no, but for real. Have we even got to the second question?
No, we haven't got to the second question. We're just having a good.
I love this.
Good
This
talk.
is like we always do this when we have guests that we have fun with because we'll ask one question and then it's like 30 minutes later we're still on the first question.
Will you ask another one? It's one.
Is there a second question?
There's just all about the
we got a few to get through, right? But as far as connecting your why to what you're doing now, to how you can help other people and how you are finding a way to help other people. My main question to you is mainly for the listener or the watcher that is an entrepreneur that is wanting to step into learning new things and being able to advance themselves forward. What would you say is the keys that they would have to start doing I guess the one key they would have to start doing when approaching social media, or not social media, but big data right now? I don't mean social media because data is incorporated in all of that, right? Social media is just a piece of it. But what would you say people need to focus on right now?
Offline and online. I always am always preaching, get your reputation in order. Because offline is just as important as online.
Yeah, no
if
doubt.
you don't have a good reputation offline, what makes you think that you're going to have a good reputation online?
Come on.
If you're a year or two into this, into your business, you have enough customers. If you survive the first 2 years or 3 years, you have enough customers that'll say good things about you.
Yes.
So reach back and say, really appreciate your patronage. Really help. We just want your feedback on how your experience was with us. It's the language you use, and change your language, change your business.
Yes.
Ooh,
that's so true.
That's culture. The key component for culture is a good language, right? Is to
every time
in any culture there is a specific language. I don't forget who it was I was listening to, but they were talking about how everybody has an accent. Everybody has an accent. Even our friend Melanie Borden. Melanie, you have an accent too, right? She would yell out there, "I don't have an accent." Everybody has an accent.
Yeah,
okay.
She got that Jersey accent, but it's an educated Jersey accent.
Yeah,
but she has it in there, Melanie. You know,
but we all have an accent, and usually it's noticed by the person that doesn't speak like you, right? And because of that, we all have a way of doing life. But having that language that is understandable is what creates your culture. What creates your culture, of course, is then what promotes your brand and is what builds your reputation. So if the culture of your store is a horrible culture, well, guess what your reputation is going to reflect? You're going to see that in your reviews. You're going to see that in your employees. You're going to see that in their lives.
Yep.
Right. All of those things are going to permeate based off of the culture, the type of language that you have there. And that's why it's so important that everybody is somewhat speaking the same language. Everybody is understanding each other to create that culture, and knows what they're talking about when they do it and cares. You do a great job at making sure that people understand how you care, even if they don't even know what you're talking about, right? Even if they don't get some of the stuff that you're pointing out, right? Because you can drop just 3-4 sentences and it's a whole lot of actual info that probably most people haven't got yet. They haven't heard. And so it's like some of the people with the big words, right? We would nod our heads like, yeah, Michael, maybe I need to know this. Maybe I need to know what you're talking about.
Right.
And that's
right.
why it's so important that you listen to people that know something you don't know.
You know what? It's so funny you brought that up, because when I first brought into the car industry, there were certain words that are jargon for the car industry.
Oh yeah.
And I hear, Fred, when you do your walk around, you say ups a lot. And people that don't know what an up is, they go, "What's an up?"
It's an
Right?
Unidentified problem.
Unidentified problem. That's all that is.
What I'm saying is that you got to learn the language of the people that you're talking to. And I learned to love this when I was 15, and we got a bunch of kids that went over to Ireland and played Irish football. And Irish football is kind of like rugby, soccer, American football. There's a goal, but there's a goalpost. So if you kick it over the ball, it's 1 point. If you kick it into the net, it's 3. So it's a cool game. But when we were going over there, it's like these kids' baseball. They were going to kick our ass. but we were big boned. The American kids walked over there and we were a foot taller, and 14 pounds heavier than the kids. So we would kick their ass. But each town that we went to,
America.
Yeah, each town that we went to, they had kids saying, "Wow, you talk funny." And it was in Ireland. So of course we talked funny.
Of course.
Right. But me and I'll never forget Chris F. We started chatting up these 2 girls, and the 2 girls are saying, "Well, we're going to go down to the corner store here and bring us back some fags. But will you guys be here?" And Chris and I looked at each other going, "Fags? No, you go get your fags. We're going to go in and play pool." In their culture, fags are cigarettes.
Yep, that's exactly right. Yeah.
I didn't know.
No, it's different words, different strokes.
Right, different language. And I love that.
It is awesome.
It's trying to figure out what language you're speaking so I can give it back to you.
And that's usually the only way that you can ever get your message across to them is if you want their language.
That's fact.
You have to get their language. That's why we have Translate, right? Or we learn someone's language before we go to their country.
Just let it be known to all those startups out there. All right. You got an investor or whatever you're doing and trying to grow your own business, whether you're marketing through TV, radio, print ads, or even if it's internet ads, or even if it's word of mouth, or if your best friend says, "Hey, go check out that company." 87% are going online first to check you out before they ever contact you.
Yeah.
So when I have that statistic in front of me, 87% are going to check on the internet. Where do they go? Well, Google is now a verb.
Yeah, it is.
Google.
Google.
They go to Google. So if you're not on Google with your 6 to 10 5-star reviews, you aren't trusted. And that's the simple fact of the matter, is why we're strategically going after the reputation marketing, not management. You don't make any money managing anything. You make money marketing. So we take those 5-star reviews and we make them into videos that rank. That's the secret sauce.
That rank. Yes, that is the secret.
That is
so all 87 percent of the eyeballs are going to the page, and they're seeing a big fat 5-star video. So that stops the shopping.
Love it.
Where else are you going to go? Well, you can go to your competitor in the next city over, but they look like everybody else.
Right.
And you have to stand head and shoulders above your competition, or you know what? You risk the point of being a commodity. Best price wins. I don't care about, I mean, you got to treat me nice because I'm a customer. Best price wins.
Which is a lot of how the car market has competed or put themselves in competition to do, right? Everybody buys the other thing to sell their product the cheapest, and then get awards for that. Here's the award. You sold the most cheapest cars on.
Way to lose gross, buddy. Good job.
Amount of money.
All right. Hey, you know,
the most.
And we're going up next month. You know what I mean?
Right. Congratulations.
Yeah, so that's it's true though, you know, and it's what's so crazy about it. You know, the culture of the world has really changed around a lot. But you know, I'm excited about the future. I think that there's a lot of things that happened during this year that really opened people's eyes up, not just business, but in the world when it comes to people and all those types of things. It's key. You know, we all are human beings. We all are one human race, and I think that we all need to love each other as much as we possibly can. You know, I think it's crazy that we divide ourselves by our color, by our religions, by our you know, by our, you know, and a lot of stuff. There's so many reasons why people divide, sports teams even. So it's crazy how we can force ourselves to divide, though we should all become one and we should all unite, you know. And I think that that's coming, and I think that people are starting to see that, and I think it's really a beautiful thing to see how every generation the culture divide is becoming less, how every generation the vision of anything is becoming less, and I like that. I like that a lot, actually. So I'm real excited about that. I'm a person who's derived from two different cultures. You know, I'm from the American culture, and then of course the Korean culture. You know, and I was raised by two amazing people who taught me the ways in both ways, and I feel very fortunate that I've been able to have my eyes open to a lot of things, which opens me to so many things and different ideas and different people. And I don't look at people as okay, that person's going to be this way because they look like this, right? That has nothing to do with it. Trust and believe that. But you know, my question for you, my third question I'm going to have for you, Michael, today, it's going to be a little bit bringing it back to the past a little bit. All right. So before you got into what you do now, I you know, I've done some research on you, of course. You know, I've known you for a while now. What did you do before you got into this digital marketing?
Great question. Just out of college, couldn't find a job, so I got my buddies and we started painting houses.
Right on.
When I started going, okay, I didn't graduate college to paint houses.
What?
So what? So of course, graduating with a political science degree, where are you going to go? Well, I moved down to DC. Worked on Capitol Hill as an intern, hated it. And so I kept my part-time job, which became a full-time job, which was bartending.
Hey.
And I learned a lot about human psychology.
Bro, that's a heck of a cool job to learn. That really does. And not to mention, it makes sense. Now it's all starting to make sense to me. Now I know where you got this personality from and this quick wit. All right, keep going. Sorry.
Murphy's Irish Pub.
Oh, buddy.
Great story about Murphy's Irish Pub is it's a tourist trap. It's right in the middle of Old Town Alexandria, which is right across the river from DC. Mm-hmm. and Murphy's, at the time, they said, hey, Larkin, you're going to be doing the Sunday NFL ticket.
Oh, man.
Okay, great.
Big tips.
I choose the New England Patriots. I'm going with home team. They said, no, hold your horses. You're going to have to let the people during the summer vote on it. I'm like, vote on it? I'm not going to be here till 4:00 in the morning cleaning up the bar only to mess it up at 8:00 in the morning the next day, watching a team that I don't like. Well, Larkin, that's just the way it is. Okay. So everybody that summer that had a Patriots hat or a Red Sox hat or Celtics jersey would get the form. Hey, fill that out for me.
That's smart.
Right?
Yeah.
So the day before the final count, I was counting up the votes. I'm like, oh my God, I'm down by 7. And that was the year Joe Montana was the first year that he played for the Chiefs.
Oh,
and the Chiefs were winning by 7. I'm like, damn. So that day, a busload of nuns came in from Boston.
Sounds like
they needed a beer. They're like, hey, we need a beer.
They came in for lunch, and all of a sudden I was back in the kitchen area snapping off pencils in half and trying to sharpen them so every one of the nuns got a ballot.
Oh my
and Sister Regina or whatever, she got in my face. She goes, "What are you doing, sir?" I'm just filling out the ballot for our football. We don't like football. Sister, just put in New England, and we won by 6 votes or 7 votes.
So let me tell you a story, guys.
That is a
bus full
blessing
of nuns
from above.
Yeah, a bus full of nuns walking to a bar.
Let's go, Patriots!
They sucked at the time, but you know what?
Yeah. That was when they were horrible. But hey, you know, wow. I know because they're in that time. I don't even remember. I didn't even know there was a team there.
I'm a loyal
I'm messing with you. I'm a Dolphins fan, right?
Coming from a Dolphins fan.
I'm a Dolphins fan, and of course, I can't stand the Patriots. I have respect for them, but they've been in them, except for this year. I don't mind playing them this year. This year's been this. I'll play them all year this year. Let's keep going.
Dan Moreno killed me, man.
In the 80s and the 90s, he dominated you guys. But soon as he retired, you guys said, "Smack, smack, we're taking over this division." Smack, smack, smack. And then you guys have just dominated it ever since. And that division, it's a unique division. You with the Bills, of course, the Bills and the Jets, those guys, they're never there. And then the Dolphins. So you guys have always had, and don't take this the wrong way, but in the last 20 years, you guys have had a watered down division. It's been very few that the Dolphins were good, very few that the Jets were good, and very few that the Bills were good. The Bills haven't been good since 91 through 94, right? And so it's definitely something funny to me, but I a lot of respect to the Patriots. What a great club. What a tradition they have. Could be if
our time is done though.
Oh man, it's not the same right now for sure. But that's the thing. Like, you see what Tom Brady really was, and we all were curious. We were like, hey, what is Tom Brady going to be when he leaves there? He's still a heck of a quarterback. He's still really good. He still throws. Well, he threw 2 picks last night. Just saying, but. and and they didn't win. So I watched that. I watched the whole game. He did bring them back to have a chance to win, but they just didn't pull it off, man. Their defense was kind of letting that other team all day just get all up in them. But it was a fun game to watch. Tom Brady is a unique, great athlete. I shouldn't say an athlete. He's just a great quarterback because he's not the most athletic looking guy. I mean, you've all seen him run. My goodness, the guys, I swear that my son, when he was 6 years old, had better form than him when he was running. So I was like, all right. But anyway.
Yeah, he's Mr. Plastic.
No,
Plastic, fantastic.
I think it's cool that you were a bartender. I think it's cool that you got to have that part. Let me ask you this question, though. After you did the bartending, what did you do?
We segued into restaurant management. And, therefore, I was I was responsible for everybody, and that was different. I had to do the cooking when the cook was called in with a hangover. So I'm flipping burgers or, basting ribs because I work in a barbecue place.
Right on.
Or make the salads. The salad girl called in sick.
I can't wait.
All of a sudden, I'm having to do the bartending and the salads. Good times. Very busy place in Arlington, Virginia. Very, very busy place. Great experience. Mayhem. But, controlled chaos is what I called it.
Lou and I have been to Arlington recently.
Yeah.
It's a cool little town, man. It's really growing a lot. They got a lot of big buildings there now. But good little town, though.
Towards the bridge where you go into Georgetown, that up the hill is where I worked. It's this building is square. It's a cube. It's crazy, but
that's cool.
It was called Red Hot and Blue. It was Memphis barbecue.
Get you some. Get you some of that.
Oh hey, yes.
Alex was wanting to know if you had one of those those bar jokes. You got a good one?
Oh my God. Put me on the spot.
He's like, actually, there was a bunch of nuns that walked in a bar.
Yeah.
Bus full of nuns.
A bus full of nuns pull into the bar.
Going back to what you said, Fred, was, it's all coming together. I live in Hartford, Connecticut, where it's 100 miles from Boston and 100 miles from New York City. And we're the Red Sox Yankees DMV or DMZ.
Yeah, I could imagine.
So my next door neighbor that I grew up with likes the Yankees, and I'm a lifelong Red Sox fan, and we're never going to change.
No.
Nah. I still love him like a brother, but I'm not going to go to the Yankees.
No. No.
So, but a joke right off the top of my head, hey, how's it going, Norm? It's a dog-eat-dog world, and I'm wearing milk-bone underwear.
Yeah, okay, I got it. Aren't we all? Aren't we all, my friend? Aren't we all? Yes, good one. Cha! Love it. All right, so number 3.
All right. So actually, you just did number 3.
No,
I thought that was number 3.
Sorry, I want to keep it going.
But
I can't help it. Number 4.
Number 4, and I think I know the answer, or the very first answer you would give to it. So I'm gonna pitch it to more on the professional side, and it can't be the first choice, right?
Ooh.
Which would be, who is the most pivotal person inside of your professional career, and it can't be Dad. So we have to pick somebody, because this is the reason why I pick it that way. See, folks, the relationships that you have in life, like I choose to be family with Fred, right? If we were blood, I don't get the choice.
No.
You're my
We are
brother.
family.
It is what it is.
Yeah,
Boom.
I agree.
But once because he's my friend, he's the family I choose, right? And he becomes, then from there on, since I chose him as a friend, now it's a friend for life, right? And that becomes family for life. That becomes what you build forward with. So when an adoption happens, when all the papers are signed and it becomes official, you're now mine. That now you're rooted inside of that. You now have a new identity. Now I've chosen you. You're mine.
Oh, yeah.
When a father has a child, you're mine. And now we go forward. But that is nearly forced family. That's blood connected family. When you choose people to follow, you're choosing to give them access to your life. You're choosing to let them make decisions that concern you and your future. You're trusting them for that.
Yep.
And so when you let somebody else's voice get into your psyche, into your heart, and into your actions, it's a pretty coveted thing, folks. You don't just trust anybody. You don't just follow anybody anywhere. So that's why with Dad, yes, some people don't have it that way. Don't get me wrong. There's so many people that would never listen to their dad about anything business or whatsoever.
Some people just don't have a father, figure in their life. So it's fortunate that some of us do, and that's why, though my father has been gone out of my life for 20 years, I'm still very fortunate that I had a father raising me as a kid.
And gained a lot of value out of that, right? There's a lot of value.
That's why I can't. I mean, I'll always love my father, no matter how idiotic he's been for the last 20 years. But what I'm saying is that I'm so glad that I had a father that was there, that raised me, that was, all that type of stuff. He does still to this day influence a lot of the things I do. So, but
that's key.
But I know where you're going with this.
But so when you have that and that relationship going, when it's not Dad, when it's not the person that you're supposed to trust, that you're automatically, have that innate value to say, well, I'm going to trust that you said this, your dad, right?
I know how Fred loves quotes. And one of the quotes that I was, I heard all through my childhood was, hey, you could be as successful as you ever wanted to be in this one life that you live, but you can't do it alone. Mm. And going back to what you were just saying, Lou, is my father used to say that. And I'm like, you know what? Mark Twain said that, or somebody famous, but I can't find who said it. Mm-hmm. So did he say it? But going off that quote, it all starts from the mindset of what I want to do. Mm. What I want to do is leave a person in a better place than when I found them, and then help my partners and people that I value their time, energy, effort, and my same philosophy as a win-win-win. And we're fleshing that out in the think tank, where I can get my tools to them to help them, help their customers, and also to help me. So it's a win-win-win. How do we flesh that out? And thanks to Justin, Michael Offmuth, a number of people in the think tank, Michelle, Elliot, Alex, Joe Brailer, and I can go on and on and on. I'm not going to miss somebody, but my focus has been all the people in the think tank. As far as answering your question, Lou, is who are my influencers? Who am I following? Who would I like to do business with and partner up with? Is the same kind of mindset, and I've set my ego aside to take on other people who have different ways of doing things. I have my set ways of doing things. I put them on the table and say, okay, now put the pieces of the puzzle together, and we'll see if it's a fit. And before COVID, I wasn't thinking this way. I was thinking, hey, I got to make my 100 phone calls. It's a 20 or 80-20 rule. 80 of them are going to say, go play in traffic, Larkin. 20 of them are going to say, okay, what do you got?
Yeah.
But taking that mindset and bringing it forward to now, as far as letting everybody win. That's where I got that quote, and I'm bringing it forward to today's day and age. And that's where we're going with this.
Right. So who would you say most influences or has been the biggest influence in those decisions that you use going forward? Whether it's somebody that you read, you watched, you may not have even met them. Some people we get the chance to be mentored by people close to us that we've met and shook hands with, hugged, or a book that we can't get away from the writings of these people. Right. Who is it that professionally has influenced you most?
Recently, it's Simon Sinek. But in the past, it's been guys like Dan Sullivan, Dan Kennedy, masters of direct selling, who weren't necessarily in digital selling, but is masters of the language you use.
Right.
Another one is I forget his name, but he was big into NLP, neuro linguistic programming.
Oh gosh, I know who you're talking about now. I actually learned that term because of this guy, and my buddy Matt Damos. He's one of my biggest mentors, one of my best friends, and he's been on my show. He's the general manager of our store. Also, he talks about this type of stuff all the time, and it's. I'm gonna think of it in a second. Go ahead and keep going though.
I know you're.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
But that guy.
Yeah, that guy.
That guy.
It's. Great. Great. It's so true. But go ahead, man. Sorry.
So yeah. But the masters of where I'm trying to go as far as what language to use, how to use it, what tonality to use it. The pacing of using it. And then something you guys might not know, back in 2014, I had a minor stroke. No, and I spent 10 days in a Baltimore hospital not able to talk.
Ooh.
This guy not able to talk?
What?
Yeah. So scary time, but I always had it in mind. Oh, I'm gonna get out of here. But no, I did a selfie with my iPad trying to read the alphabet, and oh boy, scary times.
I can imagine, man.
Richard Bandler.
Yeah, so Richard Bandler is the master, and his student was one of the guys.
Yeah,
but Bandler was the master. He can make you stick to a wall and not know it.
Wow.
By his language. It was like, what?
That's what's so key about it. It's unreal. Like this whole NLP thing, not to bring that back up again, but the NLP, when I started listening to it and understanding what it is, I'm like, oh, it makes all the sense. And it's because it's in sales, it's really big. If you actually probably been doing it, didn't even know you were doing it, right? So it's just one of those things that was part of your repertoire. You just didn't have a word for it. You didn't have an acronym or the actual terminology. But No, but yeah, great. It's great stuff. Great stuff, folks.
Yeah, I especially love when you bring somebody out to the future and bring them back to the past or back to the present. Like, imagine is good. It's airy fairy. Hey, imagine what it would be like to have 5 or 10 years into the future, having all the digital marketing tools that you could ever want that are now existing today, and having look back on today as the day that it started.
Wow, I love that. I mean, it makes
so I get people like, in the future, their light bulb goes off and goes, "Where's that guy's number?"
Right. Exactly. That's the thing. That so many of the seeds that were planted by marketers or people with tools have been left at the dealerships, and then it's like, "Hey, I need that. Where's that card? Or who's that guy?
Where's that card?
That solution? Where is that at? How do I get a hold of that?"
Yeah.
And that's the key thing that marketers have to usually invoke inside of whoever it is that they're doing business with, is that imagination. Listen, imagine if you can do this simple task, and then boom, you have this much of an actual result. Albert Einstein said that imagination is the how is it? Imagination is the coming attractions of life, right? Or he said it in some better way than that. But that's in essence what he was trying to get across, is that what you imagine then becomes, right? This was an imagination.
It has to be a thought first. It becomes.
This was an imagination.
Ideas become,
you know what
things.
I mean? All of that, an imagination,
imagination
idea, and then boom, it became reality.
Right.
And when you're doing business with people, you're many times discussing the things that you imagine seeing and hoping for in success. You start to take that course, you start to go to school, you start any endeavor. You're doing it because you imagine a predetermined result from it coming in some cases, right?
Vision.
Or sometimes you don't even know what's happening.
Right.
One thing that I do know is that we slay our giants in the valleys. We slay our giants in the low parts. We don't get to the top of the hill to go fight the giant. We that happens in the bottom, and then we pursue the hill. Right, the giant that we have to kill, and many times is the biggest fear that has us from even approaching or ascending the summit. And you are key at making sure that we do get the chance to prick our imaginations a little bit and start to bubble over with results. And I mean, that's so key for anybody that has access to big data. Which again, guys, when sharing this out there, some of you are watching it from there. This is a big data mind right here. He understands how many different pieces of the puzzle need to come together in order for it to be a customer in front of you. You know what I mean? It's somebody that wants to buy your brand, and I want to make sure that people do reach out to you guys. I mean, before we get on to the next question, how is a way that people can get a hold of you if they are researching you or just running by it right this moment?
The best way that I've found, and it's a godsend, is getting onto my calendar. I'm currently the caretaker of my mother, who's got dementia. She's 74. She's still as feisty as can be.
What's her heart?
Yeah, she's from the old country, and she's still as feisty as can be. I love her.
You gotta love it, man.
I love her,
awesome.
but the best way is for you to check off a time or a date and a time that's good for you, that is open for me.
How do they get a hold of you on your calendar? How would
on the calendar, it's a bit.ly. Okay, it's www.bit.ly /Mike in all caps -chat CHAT in all caps. Okay. So it's bit.ly bit.ly /Mike in capitals.
That look right? I misspelled the Mike. Hold on.
That's it right there.
No, I misspelled it. Hold on. I did it. Let me fix that for you. I put too many I's in Mike. Because you know why?
Mike the second.
Let me get that fixed for you real quick. But yes, that's it, guys. So if you guys want to get a hold of him, have a quick conversation. If you want to learn something new about digital marketing, make sure you reach out to him. He has a lot of information. He's constantly hooking us up, sending us things, and he's trying to show us stuff. And I'll be honest, I need to make more time for Mike myself. You know, Mike knows how busy we are, though. Mike knows we have full-time jobs. Mike knows we're trying to interview all kinds of people, but he also knows that we love him. So we're always there for him, and we appreciate you. So, folks, you see that at the bottom. Reach out to Mike. Listen, sometimes I dream that he is me. You got to see that's who I want to be. Boom, 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 boom. The way he moves, the way he grooves, like Mike. If I could be like Mike, I want to be like Mike. All right. So, So that was four, right?
I just remembered the guy's name from NLP. His name is Kendrick Cleveland, like the city.
I saw you put that on private chat real quick.
Yeah,
so
he's brilliant. Brilliant.
I'm gonna pull that out, and
he took all the stuff from Bandler and changed it into not only influencing people, but business influencing people.
That's key. Awesome.
So you can learn a bunch of words and a bunch of phrases that you add into your language, and it produces results. And just do what you do. Be you, but add these little kind of sentences where you're going to get results.
Right.
I had a person, a lawyer, contact me after a year that I've talked to her, and she's on LinkedIn, but I never heard boo about her. And she's in my local chamber of commerce, and she says, "Let's get together. Let's do something." Man. And I $1,500 later, and a video and 2 widgets on her website, and I got a new customer. Right. But I didn't sell her. She got back to me.
That's the thing, when you have a product that sells itself, it's just you sell yourself. People want to deal with people they like. People want to deal with people they feel comfortable with. People they can laugh and have rapport with, right? It's so important to build those relationships. But once you do it, you have to maintain those relationships. A lot of us are really good at building relationships. Hey, what's going on? Sign with me. I love you. But the moment you sign them, you forget about them.
Right.
Don't be that person. Always do your follow-up. Always take care of your client base.
Don't ghost them, huh?
Matter of fact, take care of your client base better than you do the new ones that are coming in, because those people are the ones who are going to repeat, who are going to send you referrals, who are going to bring people in to help you out. So make sure you treat them right.
Well, that. You guys know, how much do you guys spend on getting a new customer?
True.
Wherein it's just as easy for you to go back to an old customer and say, hey, please write feedback on how your experience was, and give us 3 referrals of people that might want to meet us. That's simple. That doesn't cost anything.
Yes, I agree.
When you're spending $1,600 putting out an ad to get one person in that you got to do your song and dance for.
It's unreal. You'll see that in all sales, whether you're in the car business, whether you're it doesn't matter where you're at. If you're that type of person, you'll see that when you do follow-up, it's so much easier. You spend less money on new customers, and your clients come back, and I hate to use the word lay down, but they're a lot easier to manage with than second time around too, right? So you know what I mean. But when you create laydowns, folks, and laydowns, and don't take this a bad word if you're a client out there. If you've been a laydown is somebody who just does business the way you want them to do it. Like, hey, this is what's going on, this is what it costs, and then they're good with it. But the way you create that is by making the value of what you're putting out exceed the cost. Once you're able to do that, that doesn't mean the product too. You're selling yourself, you're selling your business, you're selling everything that you possibly can, to where they're all of a sudden they're like, man, this seems like a deal to me. And a lot of times the deal is dealing with somebody better than anybody else they dealt with, having the convenience of somebody who knows how they are, somebody they already have rapport with, that they don't have to spend 2 hours trying to get to know. All these things are so important and of value that the second time around it's easier. The third time around gets even easier. The next thing you know, they're sending all their friends and family. So that being said, this is Thanksgiving week, guys. I'm so excited. We're just a couple days away from having turkey and having all that type of fun with your friends and your family. I hope you guys are all safe and doing all the right things that we need to do to stay safe right now in this current world. But I want you guys all to enjoy time with your family. Yes. Love, share, be thankful. And that's what my 5th question is going to be. Normally, my 5th question is usually, what's your greatest reward? I'm going to go, that has something to do with thankfulness, but let me get a little deeper with it, or maybe more general, I guess you should say. What are you most thankful for? I'm going to change my words, I guess. What are you most thankful for? I'm going to just even break it down to a short term over the last year. Yeah. Right. What have you been most thankful for since last Thanksgiving to now? What in your life has been something that you can be like, it can be multitude of things. I don't care how long you want to go with this answer, but what are you thankful for?
I'm going to make it real simple. I've got two brothers that are living in California. I got a brother in West Hartford, Connecticut, but he lives in the other side of town. I could have moved out, away from my mom a long time ago, but not this summer, but the past summer, 2019, she got diagnosed with dementia, and I keep learning about what we could do to have her stick around and be mom for an extended period of time. And if I didn't have this and I were living in DC, I would have missed this time with her.
Yes.
And that's what I'm most grateful for, because when she's gone, she's gone.
Right.
So, yeah, she's feisty as can be, but I love her. And we have great talks, and, I would have missed that. And I've gotten to know her more than a mother, as maybe a friend, and that sounds kind of weird, but we have great laughs,
I can imagine.
and if I were to miss that, it would have been one of the greatest regrets of my life while I was pursuing this. So it has that balance of family and, bringing all the other family members together to her house.
Yeah.
This Thanksgiving, it's going to be the four of us. If it's going to be me, myself, and I and mom.
I gotta have a plate for every one of them. Let's go.
Yes, go.
And well, the fifth one is the portal.
Yeah,
so
how cool.
That everybody can get together with mom, and she can remain safe, and she can,
That's the most important thing, is keeping mom safe during this time. It's a crazy time. And I feel, and that's one of the things that I'm so sad about during this time. If there's anything I'm sad about, is the relationships with people that are elderly and sick, and have like underlying health issues. Because us as young, I'm only 41, getting ready to turn 42 here in a couple months. And, I'm still a young guy. So, for me, the effects of this, and I haven't had coronavirus, I've been blessed. But if I did, I feel like I would recover very well. I'm very healthy. I have everything. I don't have any underlying issues. But as our parents, my mother even, I freak out thinking about what it could do to her. My mother's pretty healthy, but she's still in her 60s, right? And life has happened to her. I have father-in-law that has MS. I don't want to. The last thing, I don't even want to give him a freaking cold. You know what I mean? Let alone corona. So it's always, everything is so delicate, and you have to be this way. But it's beautiful that you're able to do that, and it's beautiful that you're able to hang and be around your mother. And you should be thankful for that, because those moments will go away one day, and those will be memories that you have, and that'll be her legacy of remembering her and being able to share those stories. Because those stories, some of those stories you have before, great, but now these are stories that you're going to be able to talk about. Man, mom did this, she did this. It was so funny. She's a little, I like how you talk about she's feisty. I love that. I love that she's still like that. She still has that pep in her. Is she Irish?
Yeah. And awesome. you guys will be a part of that when I interview you, and all of a sudden you'll hear a voice from the recording saying, "Michael, you want a cup of tea?"
I love it. Oh my goodness. Yes, I do. Right. So I love her.
I'm on a webinar.
Tay, Mom, but Mom. Hey, listen, my roommate's messing with me, folks. Yeah. So, I love it, man. I love your mom, and I'm sure. Yeah, me.
Oh man.
Oh gosh. Yeah. So thankfulness, man. I'm gonna tell you what I'm thankful for today. This morning, I'm thankful to have you on our show.
Yeah.
I'm thankful that we had a chance to get to know you a little bit more, learn about. I didn't know this about your mother. I didn't know about what you did before you got in this business. What I do know is what you are right now, and what you are is a very passionate person. You are one of those guys that when you put your heart into something, it's like all over the place. You just feel the warmth, you feel the love on it. And we appreciate you. We appreciate you not just as somebody who follows the Car Guy Coffee podcast. We appreciate you as a friend. And really, man, I'm learning a lot from what you're talking about. I'm learning so much. And I know that we haven't even scratched the surface. So once we get, as the years go by and our relationship grows and grows and grows, I'm looking forward to meeting all of you guys one day, especially you. I know that when we show up to an event, I'm going to just say this. When we show up to an event, I already know where the party's going to be. And I don't mean this as in like we're going to get hammered drunk. I mean as in where am I going to go to get my laughs in? I'm going to go see Mike Larkin because Mike Larkin's always going to make me laugh. That smile that he's got is going to just light up a room. I know that the table, it's going to have to be you, Lou, and I, right? Of course, we're going to have some Jason Garris in there. We're going to,
the whole thing.
We're going to have so much fun sitting there just laughing and conversating. And that's it. Because I think the day that we all actually get to sit down is going to be a beautiful day.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't think that everybody in the think tank can cram in that little room, but I assure you this, that board behind you is going to have like faces of all of us trying to mug it up for the camera.
Oh man, I can't wait, and then we could get your signature on our board. It's been crazy. We've had all these great guests, but none of them have been able to sign our board. We've had a few. We do have some signatures on here for some local people that have been able to come on our show, and so I'm looking forward to one day having you guys all here at the cafe, and I'm looking forward just to going out to meet you guys one day. It's a beautiful thing, and what we're the culture we're building, the dynamic that we're building here with all the stuff it's just been nothing but beautiful, heartwarming, and just so open to so many different people from different types of worlds too. Like we're not just talking about car people here. Right. We're talking about interior designers, doctors, lawyers. We've seen people that won Super Bowls, right? Mm-hmm. So we have it all on the show, folks. And at the think tank every Thursday night and I don't think this Thursday we were doing one. I don't believe.
No.
I didn't think so.
I think it's Thanksgiving.
The other Jason called it off.
Yeah. Yeah, the fake Jason. Yeah,
or the fake Justin. Sorry,
Justin.
Justin. Justin's the host, and he said, "No, Larkin, next week we're not gonna
do it on Thanksgiving night." Yeah. So, but even so, next week, folks, the week after, make sure you guys reach out. Think Tank is a lot of fun. Thursday night, go to www.thinkadgroup.com. Hit on the swag thing, and once you get into swag, you'll see the big link to the live event, man. Folks, it's so much fun. Even if you just jump in for 2 minutes, you're always welcome. Everybody's welcome. You're going to see guys like Mike Larkin on there just cracking you up, but we always have a special guest also that comes on. They bring in a celebrity guest that we can sit down and ask questions and just convo. Even if we don't, we all sit there and we end up talking for 2 to 3 hours, just talking about how much we care about each other and how much we want to help each other grow. And then we introduce all the new people that come into the group. They get to talk about their businesses, basically sales pitch. I love it. My favorite part's when the fake Justin Searle's in there and he's drinking a little bit. After about an hour into the show, the way he talks, it makes me laugh. He'll hit people with just direct questions like, "What?
I ain't calling on you anymore.
You talk too much. Next." I love it, man. But he means that as fun. You know how he is. He's just bullshitting people. Right?
One of my favorite guests on the think tank is Michelle Maltese.
Oh,
and the first time she was on the show, she was starting to do her pitch, right? And so Justin cut her off. "Hey, there's no pitching in the think tank. This is one of the first. Was her first day." And she goes, What is your name? Michelle? Is that how you spell your first name with one L?
That's so Justin.
Yeah, that's stupid. I'm like, oh God, she's never gonna show up here again.
Oh, she's part of the fam.
Justin.
She is
now she's the biggest fan.
Yeah, you gotta love it. But but that's Justin, and that's what you gotta love about Justin. He is so funny with that stuff. It'll crack me up, man. Like he'll bust your balls about it, but that's okay, and that's what it's all love. And he doesn't do that out of spite. He just does that because he got a little buzz and he's having fun. It's Thirsty Thursdays, folks. Hello. You're supposed to be drinking, so the conversation can get a little flamboyant every once in a while, and it can be really fun. But it's all love in that room. It's nothing but a bunch of people that just want to. If we were allowed to meet in a room in person, we would, and it'd just be one kumbaya. Everybody would just be sitting there holding
a whole lot of ha ha ha.
Yeah.
The next door neighbors in either room would have to call the cops.
No doubt about it. Wow. Yes.
So much fun that we have when we have the show, when we get the chance to be inside the think tank, and so much fun that we've had today. Car guys and car gals and all you solutionaries that are out there.
What a great show.
This is a person that we have great value for, and we're so thankful that he has spent the time with us. But make sure that you do your responsibility. It's you that's spending your time with us. It's you that's listening. It's you that's taking in what it is that we're putting out, what it is that Michael is sharing. It's your responsibility to dig a little deeper. If you want something to take action inside of your business, inside of your life, inside of your relationships, your friendships, whatever it is, it's your responsibility to do something with the time that you've spent here with us. So if you're hearing me right now, if you're hearing us say anything, make sure that you take some value out, even if it's just a laugh, even if it's just a new bar joke, whatever, you know what I mean? You can really, the end to that joke would be how the, what would it, who is it? The Patriots, how the Patriots won again. Let me tell you a story, folks. A busload of nuns walk into a bar. You know what I'm saying? And then you can begin. Boom. And it's a totally true story. Anyway, but folks, there's so much value that we've gained just spending the time together. But this is why we encourage you all. Reach out. Try to have somebody else that can encourage you, but that you can listen to. I love really inside of the think tank, just sitting there listening. I love listening to everybody's blow, everybody's heart. I love calculating all of those things. And then, usually when we get the chance, I'm just so like almost enamored with the great people that are in the room and still blown away that how fast so many people have gotten into the room to grow with. So people, this is, if you join your torch with other people that have a fire, you have a bigger fire, and everybody gains good from that light. So we encourage you, reach out to people, build those relationships, meet people digitally. You know what I mean? There's so much that you can do, but the dreams that you have on your heart, those imaginations, there's ways to make them reality if you connect to the right people that are about seeing new, bigger things come to light. If you're stuck inside of the old, you're just always going to be reading history. But if you honor history, create it today. And people like Michael are going to be able to help you do that as you dream forward, as you create new things. 2021 is just around the corner.
Oh, isn't it?
And folks, it's going to come with new challenges.
Month away, folks.
But it's also going to come with new great victories, new great relationships. So we challenge you all to reach out, share this around, talk to other people, take something with this, take a to-go cup of value with you, and have a great time building relationships. Michael, thank you so much.
Hey, one thing, well, two things. One is if you're a vendor and you're working with the car industry, reach out to me. I have landing pages for you to leave your people that say no, go play in traffic, to leave them in a better spot than when you found them. Two is landing the plane. I do not a podcast like you guys do with the Duckhead. Or live stream, right? Okay. But I do a webcast that's called Things Have Changed. Wow. And a webcast is just pre-recorded and not broadcast the way you guys do. And it's an easier way for me to honor my time as well as the person I'm interviewing. So if you want to promote your business that way, reach out. And 3 is land the plane. So at the end of every webcast, I say these things. Thank you for visiting us today. And if you were listening on your mobile phone or iPad or even on your desktop, thanks for the ride.
That's awesome.
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye. All right. And we're out.
Michael, you're a gentleman. You're a friend. And I'm so excited to have you around. Lou mentioned earlier, he's talking about everyone getting together in a fire. And, it brings all this light. But the one thing it also does, it brings warmth when you need it. And you definitely bring the warmth there, brother. I appreciate you. You make my heart warm. You make me smile. You do all those things. Keep smiling yourself. We look forward to growing. I can't wait to come on your show. Better get an invite now.
Yep.
So,
buddy.
So we're going to have some fun. We appreciate you, all you folks out there. Thanks for the ride. So I appreciate you for jumping on. I appreciate you for watching, commenting. If you guys see any content here that you guys think would benefit somebody else, please share it. Mike's got a lot of great information that other people need to hear. If you want to talk with him, you already know the link. We brought it up earlier. I'm going to pop it up real quick before we bounce one more time. Boom. Boom. Yeah, he just hit that nice. Make sure if you want to set a meeting with him, go to his bit.ly. It's bit.ly/Mike-chat. Very simple, very
Very simple.
easy. Reach out to him because
Write that
he
down.
is excited to help you guys out, and trust and believe
Right.
he can help you out. All right. If anything, he'll make you
Believe it.
laugh. All right. So let's get this thing going, folks. We appreciate you for jumping on. Mike, thanks
Make
for
it a
being our
great
guest
day.
tonight, folks. You guys go out and have a great Thanksgiving week. We're not going to have our show Thursday morning, or are we?
No.
Okay, good. We're not having our show
But-
Thursday morning. We never
But
made
pay
it.
attention. There will be a lot of new podcasts dropping from a lot of great.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have a lot of
solutionaries
stuff
this week.
going on this week. But Sunday night, you guys will see us again. Sunday night on our late brew, where we'll be around at 11:30 Eastern time, PM, and we're gonna be dropping some good stuff. We may have a special guest, we may not. Doesn't matter. After Michael, it's how do you follow up Michael Larkin? I don't know, right?
That's
So
why you got to take a week off.
you gotta take a
Imagine
week off.
that.
I got to take the rest of this week. I got to wait till Sunday to do a show. It's too much. Nobody wants to do a show after Michael Larkin. Yeah. So,
Hey, happy Thanksgiving, guys. I love
happy
you.
Thanksgiving.
you.
We love you
Appreciate
back,
you.
brother.
Love
You
you,
have a
brother.
great one. Cheers
Keep
to
brewing
you.
Solutions.
Everybody out there, cheers back. Make sure you guys get you some of
Cheers.
that Car Guy coffee.
Be thankful.
www.carguycoffee.com.
Get you
Go to the
some.
coffee shop. Get you some of that brew.
If you
We
want
also
to
have
be.
a lot of swag out there,
Get you some
guys. Get you some of that. And we got an idea for a new shirt, a new inspiration shirt. So we'll be bringing that out. We'll probably show that sometime next week. But you guys have a great week. You guys have a great month. You guys have a great Thanksgiving. All right. And here we go.
Love you all.
Love you guys.
Yeah.
Focus.
Fly.
Keep growing.